Welcome to a new Hidden Driveway track breakdown, or should I say project breakdown this time, because today I'm here with ZZKILLME'S, who has a full interview out on the channel, and they released a super awesome EP called
Lucky Star.
You sure did. I've been listening to it a lot recently, and I think it's really cool because I know when we did your interview, you're talking about how you wanted to do some more like breakcore and like D&B stuff because catcore is doing so well. But I feel like with Lucky Star, it's more true to like, I guess your sound, I would say. Like it feels like you took the vaporwave influence and like integrated it with the D&B elements in a way that felt more like natural to like you. I guess I think catcore kind of sticks out in your discography. It's like very different just how like bright and colorful it is compared to everything else.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, personally, I feel like Lucky Star is some of my best work. I've like, with catcore, it was kind of just like I was trying out a new sound, and obviously it's like a concept album about cats. But Lucky Star, I feel like it's just executed better and kind of more structured in a way. Catcore is just like you said, all over the place and like an outlier in my discography. So I feel like Lucky Star kind of helps to like structurize it more.
Yeah. Because I know you're still working on a catcore 2 also, so I guess you'll be...
Yeah, we're working on catcore Deluxe and catcore 2. Well, should I say but catcore Deluxe is like, it's like an Unlucky Win kind of like compilation collaboration album, because I'm getting like a bunch of people from Unlucky Win and also just people that I know to help remix, so we're like a few tracks away from completing it.
That's really exciting, yeah. So... I guess for Lucky Star though, because that was not something I knew about at the time we did your interview. So like, how did that project like come to be initially?
Yeah, so the first track was originally released in I think May of 2022, and it was my first track that kind of had like a D&B inspiration. It was a remix of Sewer Slut's Yandere Complex, and yeah, I kind of had thought like a while ago, I would say probably like a year ago, like I had this random idea of like expanding that track and making it into a full EP. So I just made this like folder in my desktop called Lucky Star EP, and I was just kind of gonna build on that. But in all honesty, the project was only made in like 2 days. Like I really just like knocked it out, made most of the tracks. So yeah.
So like, how long have you had the EP like finished before it came out?
Honestly, I was talking to Eleanor and Yam Lin from Unlucky Win, like while I was making it, like just talking to them about it if they would want to release it on the label. So the first track was completed on January 10th, so a month from today. I made not the first one, the second one, because the first one was made like 3 years ago. So the second one was the first one I made like for the EP.
Yeah, so you say like in general, like in terms of working on it, it came together like pretty smoothly, you would say?
Yeah, I kind of just like had like an abundance of inspiration, and like I didn't really reach like producer's block, so I kind of just like, did it all at once basically.
Yeah, that's always the best feeling. I think now might be a good time for you to start showing off the project files.
Okay, for sure. But before we start, I just want to mention that the first track and the last track are both Sewer Slut remixes. Like I mentioned, the first one was a remix of Yandere Complex, and then the last one was kind of like an homage to the first track. I kind of wanted to base the whole EP around that kind of sound, but it kind of just turned into like what it did, like less like slowed down D&B and kind of more fast paced like I'm usually releasing. And those ones were both made in Vegas Pro. It was kind of just like slowed down and looped with effects and sound effects added, so that's kind of it. Alright, so this melody I found from I think it's Pizza Tower soundtrack, from this video I watched of this guy ranking the Spider-Man outfits from Spider-Man PS4, and he had like some really cool music taste, and I checked the description of all the songs that he used, so this one really stuck out to me and I liked it a lot. So that's kind of how I used this melody. Really stuck out to me. and then I kind of just added these drum tracks. Should I just like let it play out and then stop when I have something interesting to say?
I wouldn't play the whole track, but anything that's like worth showing, I guess.
Okay, so I'll just like skim through it and then just talk
Yeah.
about stuff that I want. Okay, cool. Let me see. Around this part, I kind of like started looping the or not looping the melodies, but like stacking them. Like there was different parts of the song, like this one, and then this one. So I kind of just added them together to create that sound, which I think really worked well. That's something I did a lot on Catcore. I would just stack melodies together, and I feel like that made a really cool sound.
Mm-hmm.
And this part here, this sample that says goofy ad beat, this goofy ad beat number 2 thing, where it's just like this like, I don't even know what genre of music, like cloud rap sound effects. It was from this track I made like in school on BandLab when I was first trying it out. And actually, let me pull up that track because I want to play that. Like me and my friend from high school started getting on BandLab, and then we would just make here's Goofy Ad Beat by Young Tape Measure, which is my BandLab name. So I used those sound effects from that. I kind of just like randomly thought to add it in. I thought it would be funny.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how those were added in. And then I just made it fit the track. I mean, that's kind of it for this track. It's kind of just like a traditional track of mine, just a bunch of breakcore and DnB drums and stuff. And then I usually do this thing where I like drag out the outro for a little bit with just the melody. That's something I did a lot on Catcore. Like whenever the song ended, it would just be the melody playing out in full. So then it'll just end like that. All right, I'll move on to.
Oh yeah, and what's the actual song's name? Because I know they're all in Japanese. Okay. So I don't know what the translation is.
Yeah. Sorry. So the second one that I just showed, that one translates into Pizza Time, because that was the sample name. It was kind of just like lazily put together. I just translated them to Japanese. Like I thought of like placeholder names, and then I just translated them into Japanese and used that because I couldn't really think of anything more creative. The next one, track 3, translates into Hip Shop, which is an Undertale sample. Like I mentioned before in that YouTube video that I watched where the guy was ranking Spider-Man suits and had like the background tracks. This was another one in that one. So these two tracks off the bat I made in like one day just from watching that video. So that's the sample.
That's from Deltarune, right?
Yeah, from Deltarune. It kind of sounds like a Marjorie W.C. Sinclair like instrumental.
I could see that
like,
actually.
I could see him rapping over that because he usually does like Japanese pop kind of stuff. So I like start out the intro not with the actual. Well, I do start off with the sample, but it's kind of just like these drums at first. Yeah, I kind of thought of that like in the beginning. I was like, yeah, I wanted to have this kind of intro where it's like this thing repeating, and then it'll just be the drums alone. And then I added this thing like at the end, which kind of comes back in the track like a lot. So I wanted to like play it there as like a teaser. And then around the middle, it kind of like stops and then resets after this drum pattern. Yeah, I actually like leave out some space there, so it's like nothing, and then it just resets. And then like again, it's kind of traditional. This one makes me think a lot of Miku because I use this Matara drum pattern, which I used like all throughout the Miku track on the first Catcore. And then this like last 40 seconds is just the sample. I was gonna make it like fade out, but it didn't really work for some reason. Like I couldn't really get it the way I wanted, so I just had it playing at the regular volume. Okay, that's basically that
Yeah,
track.
that one, like, I don't know why, but it unlocked a memory for me of I used to have my iPod attached to my alarm clock in like middle school, and Hip Shot was one of my alarm songs. So I had one for each day of the week, and I had like completely forgotten about that until I heard this one.
Actually, I had only like briefly played Deltarune. I think on my Switch. I think there was a demo of it. So
Yeah,
that's how I played. I played Deltarune, chapter 1 or whatever it is. I think it's split into chapters or something, like parts.
yeah,
But I actually didn't know this track was in it. I thought it was from the original Undertale, and I was like, how did I miss that? Because I listened to that soundtrack pretty frequently. But it's such a good sample to use. Oh yeah, no, this one translates into hip shop from Japanese. And then track 4 is probably my favorite one, which is a remix of Days God, Tell Nobody. And I kind of made it like a Jersey Club drum and bass remix.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely my favorite one, just because of the melodies and the synths. So I started off by only adding these two drum patterns, which is pretty simple. And then after the first part, I add these Jersey Club drums, which I think works really well. There is this part in the song that actually does use it, but I only use that briefly. So yeah, they're kind of layered there in that part, but I keep the Jersey drums like throughout the whole song. And then like this part is definitely one of my favorites. I love doing that thing where it's like splitting like in and out, like this kind of thing. That's like one of my favorite things to do. So then I add this Kasango drum pattern. I use this one a lot on Aphex Twin in Catcore. Yeah, this like I don't even know how I thought of this. like this one fades out, and then around the end, this one also splits up. That's like such a cool drum pattern in my opinion. So it like starts off like only the sample cutting, and then the drum cutting as well. So it kind of like splits the whole track in and out, and then the climax right there. And then I add the outro over here, which is this guy talking about how you should rob a corner store or something.
New York City, listen to me. If you're near a convenience store right now, any type of 24-hour store, go into the store right now and put your hand in the cash.
He says put your hand in the cash register, which I thought was so funny, but I cut it like right there. After he said that part. And then around the end here, I do the split thing again. Like I don't even know how you call it when you do this, where it's like one every beat. I don't know how you call that, but that's what I did. And then I use this sample. It's the Jersey Club. I like how it does like the filthy thing over there. And then on this part, I leave like the end of the sample where it goes like, yeah, that's like a highlight of this track for me.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it works so well. And like originally the track will continue after this like interlude thing where it kind of stops for a second. But I felt like that was like a really good place to end it because it was like an echo out. Like I could have continued it, but I felt like it was complete. Even though it's like only like 1 minute and 37 seconds, I feel like it's a really complete track. So
Yeah.
I was happy with
Also,
it.
I feel like you don't use vocals in your music super often now that I think about it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Most of my music is just instrumental, which I mean, in a way, this is instrumental, but it is just like vocals in the background, which I do really like. Like I feel like I should kind of like implement vocals in my tracks more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, this one, I'm just gonna say this at the end, this like what it translates into. This one just translates to won't tell anyone, I think. I think like Google, obviously I use Google Translate. I don't speak Japanese, but I think it kind of messes up the dialect a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
This one, track 5, is Potato Bunny, I think, which is like referencing Yam Lin. This is a track Astrology off their album The Wake World. That's when I first found out about them. They're like one of my favorite artists, so I wanted to remix one of their tracks for it. I used like a Crush plugin on this one. Let me get this. So I'll like that's how it originally sounds. Obviously it's slowed, but I just used this Crush filter on it. And then I use this like I like mix in between like this slow drum pattern and this fast drum pattern. Like this one is the slow one. And then I like switch in between those, which I feel like is really cool. Like something that Yamlan does, which like I really admire, is they like changed like the pacing of their song a lot. Like it could be really slow at some parts and then just pick up like out of nowhere. So and then they kind of like go back and forth from that. So that's kind of what I was inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just add like some simple drum patterns over here, and then let me see, just like cut in and out the drums, and then like in the middle here, I just add this random thing that I made. It was like something for the Lego Batwave movie. It was like one of the interludes, and I just reused it. There's like a full track of it. It's only like a minute long, but I just made it for the Lego Batwave. I might use it if I do like an Unreleased 2 compilation, because I have a lot of like random tracks and like skits and demos that
Mm-hmm.
I have unreleased. So I might do an Unreleased 2 at some point on like one of my backup pages or something. And then I add the skit from Sonic right there, right before it starts back up. And then I actually bring this one back like to a different part of it. I sampled Mini Pop 67 from Aphex Twin. I just like slow down one of the parts right here. And then just added these drums to it. And then like there's random instances where I'll just add this like 3 drum pattern right here. Like I just like scattered it all throughout the song at the end. Like I just like went back and placed it in random places. So it'll just like have this random part where it'll just like spam drums. And then right here, at this part, I kind of like get rid of the sample and then bring it back and then get rid of it and then bring it back. I just like loop a random part of it over here. Like kind of using it as a drum as well. And like you can see, I'm mixing like the two, like the slow drum and the fast drum. So that's kind of something I wanted to do on this track, and I felt like it went really well. Then at the end here, I just like leave some space for like the slow drum, and then I ended off with the sample again. I feel like that one was really good. And yeah, I think I said before, that one translates to Potato Bunny, which is kind of like Yam Lin's whole thing. And track 6 translates to Trance Atmosphere. That was just one of the samples. This one. It's just like a random like ambient thing. But I was trying to make like a trance track, like I'm trying to think. Do you know like Gina Bay?
I don't think
that's how you
so.
say their name. It's like a D&B artist, but they released this single called Wandering, I think. And it kind of had like that trance vibe, like I don't even know. There's like another artist I know that has like the similar sound where it's like this kind of sampling. But yeah, again, I use the same shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm pressing right now. I don't even use that shit. I use the same like Crush thing here. I kind of wanted to make the whole album like have like a crush effect, but one thing I learned like halfway through making the album is that you kind of have to base the track around the crush effect rather than just adding it at the end,
Yeah.
because I tried adding it to the second and third track and it really just didn't work. Like I have different versions of those tracks with the effect on it, and it just doesn't sound as good as it does in the final project. So I kind of just had to have some tracks be crushed and then some just be uncrushed, but I think it still works well. I like mix these two different samples here. There's like a deeper one and then the high pitched one, which is like the main one. And then I just throw like some ambient tracks that I found online somewhere. There was like 9 different versions, but I only settled on using a few.
Mm-hmm.
And then like midway through the track, I kind of like get rid of this first one here, and then it's just this deeper one while these drums kick in. Then I like add another one to make it louder. Even though I know you can just like do this, but I just added 2. And then I have like these ambient things just stacked on here. And then that's also how I end the track. It's just these ambient things. And then I switch it to a different one. I think it's cool though. And yeah, I don't have the last one. Well, the first one I definitely don't have because that was from like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But the last one I also made in Vegas Pro, and I don't think I have that one. But I can just explain it quickly. It was just it was Down the Drain by Sewer Slut, which is also what the track name translates into. Basically just slowed and looped, like, because I used to do that a lot with these like vaporwave tracks. Like I made a lot of them in Vegas Pro, which I said in the interview that we did. I'm pretty sure that I just used Vegas Pro mainly to make them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's basically it.
Yeah, I think that's a cool way to go back to it though, especially because like you started in Vegas Pro initially, right? Before you had FL?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's cool that you went back to that method to do the callback, even though you have a way more convenient way to like make that song now.
Yeah, like the only projects that I've mainly used Vegas Pro for were Catcore and Lego Batwave and now Lucky Star.
Wait,
so.
Catcore? Oh, do you mean FL?
Oh yeah, I mean FL.
Okay, I was about to say, yeah.
Everything else was made in like Vegas Pro basically, and just like that's basically it.
That's so sick though, because I didn't like we were talking before we started recording, but like I've tried producing in like Premiere before, and like obviously that's not what it's meant for, so it doesn't work. But
yeah. It doesn't have these things where you can like have the track like snap into somewhere, so it's really hard to like make things work together if you're trying to like combine different samples and stuff and drums.
So, yeah, but I think for vaporwave it definitely makes sense for that.
Like, yeah, you just have to like fucking wing it, but that's definitely what I use mainly for like all my vaporwave stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And yeah, so that was Lucky Star by ZZKILLME'S. And I didn't say this in the intro, but I think it was cool seeing this because all the breakdowns that I've done so far are for hip hop songs, like hip hop EPs, technically for the Bappy one. So it's a completely different method for this one. And I think the fact you said that you made most of it in like 2 days also just shows like improvement as a producer, because I would agree that's probably one of my favorite things that you've made. And it just like when you make stuff in just a short time frame like that, it's like mostly off of instinct, right? So like, even though you're not really thinking that much about it, that kind of just shows your like baseline for like quality now. So I think that's super cool, and I'm super excited for like what you're gonna do in the future as well.
Yeah, I mean the original version of Catcore, which was only 8 tracks before I released it on Unlucky Win, which like I made that only in like 1 week, so I feel like it kind of like compares to like sometimes my work ethic when it comes to music is just like completely unpredictable. Like I can just come out of nowhere and just make like a whole album in like 3 or 4 days or something, and then sometimes I'm like struggling to produce at all like within months. So it is really unpredictable at some points.
Yeah, I think everyone has that. Like I know for Bappy, they produce like the majority of MPs like putting faith in like a night. So it really just depends.
Yeah. My first mixtape, the Space Dancer EP, I made that only in 1 day too. So I think it kind of like sticks around at some points.
Yeah.
That kind of like work ethic.
Yeah, like I'm generally pretty slow, but even for me, like for the EP I put off Cameron Scholl recently, like 4 of those beats were made in 1 day, and that's why we made the EP in the first place.
Yeah.
We had a lot to work with. So like it just happens sometimes when you feel like really motivated or inspired.
Sometimes you're just in the mindset and you can just make shit all night. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Lucky Start by ZZKILLME'S. So if you have not checked out the project, go do that. I'll have it linked in the description to go listen to. If you don't follow, ZZKILLME on all platforms, like, what are you doing? Come on, go do that.
Yes. And also follow Hidden Driveway on all platforms.
True.
Can't forget about that.
But yeah, so maybe if you're watching this and you haven't seen their interview, because we did an interview with ZZKILLME. I don't know, I'm saying we, it's just me. But we together did an interview back in July or something. It was over the summer.
Yeah, it feels like around that time.
Yeah, but that was super cool. But yeah, I definitely want to keep doing more of these. I think it's a cool way to kind of check in with where the artist is like at currently, and just continue supporting them after we do their initial interview. So
yeah, definitely. And I feel like a lot of people are like curious on how some of these tracks like came to be. Like people that don't really have any idea of how breakcore and D&B is like made. Now they kind of have like an idea of how someone like me like goes about making a track.
Yeah, plus like my grandpa watches these. He's probably watching this right now. So like for this is all like completely new to him. So he'll definitely think it's super cool.
Yeah, I feel like for like different generations, if they see this, they'll just be like, what the hell like goes on in their minds when they make these songs. Also shout out grandpa.
Yeah. But yeah, so this has been a Hidden Driveway project breakdown. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.